Hello YouTubers, my name is Dice Kimura. I'm a Fort Lauderdale based guitar instructor and I'm going to show you how to change your strings today on the acoustic guitar. This is my Taylor 814 and tomorrow in the morning I have a gig. Okay, I change my strings about once a week. Okay, so if you're a beginner you probably want to change your strings about once every 2 months if you're playing every day. If you're an intermediate, maybe once a month. As you become advanced, you maybe want to change it like every gig or whatever. Okay, so let me just adjust my camera and hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm using, what am I using? The D'Addario 12 gauge, okay, acoustic set. That's what I'm using. It's 12 to 53. I'll either use these or the 13 to 56, but lately I like these, okay. I'll just put these over here for now. Now the first thing I'm going to do is loosen my strings. So I use this here string winder, and I'm just gonna take it and I'm gonna loosen. I like to go from the 6th string first. Let me just turn this way so you can see. Okay, I'll loosen the 6th string. You can tell it's loosening by the tone. Now me personally, I'll just go ahead and loosen all 6 strings. Try to make sure you can see. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these strings, and I'm just going to put my hands over the sound so they don't fly anywhere, and I'm just going to cut them. Now usually you want to make sure to take real good care of these strings after you cut them. You don't want them flying all over your house and then having your housemates step on them, because they are very sharp, and if you throw them away in the garbage, it can stab someone's hand. Looks like I ran into a bit of a problem. This peg is not coming out. I pulled it out with my fingers. Sorry, I didn't tell you that. I was pulling out the pegs with my fingers. And this one's stuck. And I'm going to use, if you can see the groove right there, on the string winder. And I'm just going to stick this in, like so. Just doing this so you can see. I'm going to pop out the peg, if it'll let me. Okay. These are really fancy schmancy pegs. These are hand, like wooden carved pegs. So I take the strings like this, okay, and I'm going to unwrap this side one at a time. And I'm very, very organized in the way I dispose of strings. I've learned, like I told you earlier, that when I was a kid, the truth is when I was a kid, I was a total slob and I would just throw them in the garbage. And what would happen is I would just throw them in the garbage like this. Oops. Looks like the camera fell. I'm sorry, guys. I would throw them in the garbage, and okay, we're back. Let me fix this. Anyway, so I would throw them in the garbage and it would cut people, and my mom would get really mad at me. So I learned to keep her happy so I could keep playing guitar. So I'd have the bunch of strings like this. You see here all the ends, and here's everything all nice and neat. These are obviously colored balls because they're D'Addarios. And then I would wrap them like this, And you don't have to do this, but this is what I do. I wrap it, and then I'll wrap it again, and again, and again, and something like that. So you see that? And then I throw that away. That's a lot neater. Nobody gets mad at me. Okay, so now I take the opportunity to dust off my guitar. It's the only time I can really dust it is when there's no strings on there. So I'll dust it, dust the headpiece, dust in between these tuners, all up in here. I'll dust this off, and then I'll check for grime, and I don't really have any grime, so not that I never have grime, I just don't have grime today. And we're going to open up my new set of strings. Okay, notice the pegs, I put them all back in carefully, or you can go put them somewhere really carefully. You don't want to lose those. These strings are hermetically sealed so that they won't be oxidized. And I prefer D'Addario acoustic phosphor strings, like I said, gauge 12 to 53, and they're going to be color coded. So I like D'Addario strings, and I'm very fanatical about not getting the coated strings. I feel like the coated strings are like a governor on my engine, and I don't like coated strings. The argument that the salesman will say is that the coated strings will last longer. That's true, but I change my strings once a week anyway, so rather than pay triple the price for coated strings that last 3 times as long, I just change my strings 3 times as often. And the reason that's better is I don't get any stoppage in my tone, and I get a nice full tone. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this peg, try to let this camera focus here, and I'm going to take the ball and I'm going to put it in the groove. You see that groove in your peg, and I'm going to put it flush to the end of the peg. I'm going to pull it all the way up if I can, and then I'm going to take it like so, and I'm going to stick it in the guitar like this. Okay, once I stick it in, I'm going to push it down with my thumb and pull it up with my hand. You heard that? And that little bit, if you don't do that, your guitar is going to go out of tune like crazy when you go to play it. I'm going to go ahead and put the 5th string in. Like I said, these are color-coded balls, so the 5th string is red. And you see there's that little bit, like a 1/2 centimeter or a 1/4 inch that just pops up. And you want to be careful to keep your strings flush to the peg. So next I'm going to grab the black ball. If you don't have D'Addario strings, they're not going to have the color-coded balls, so don't feel bad. But with acoustic, I like D'Addario. If you use D'Addario for electric, they're good too. I used to do that for years. But nowadays I'll use GHS Boomer strings for electric because it has a nice punchy bend range and really good sustain. And I absolutely hate Ernie Ball strings. Hate them, hate them, hate them with a passion. And I hate elixirs. And if you like them, you're welcome to comment or give me a thumbs up or down or whatever. But we could start a dialogue. But I am a full-time professional guitarist, and in my opinion, coated strings do more harm than good. Okay, so let's move forward. Now notice, let me just adjust my camera, hopefully it won't fall again. Notice that I have, okay, all the strings in the pegs, in the appropriate pegs, and all the strings are hanging out. Now here's what I like to do, and this is just, I just am going to straighten out all these pegs so that these holes are all going straight down facing where the string would go in. So I'm just going to make this straight. I want you to see this in the camera. I want to make it straight. I'm being mindful of the time. I'm already at 9.5 minutes, and YouTube will only let me upload for 15 minutes. So I might have to use the power drill, but I was hoping to just do this slowly. But anyway, I'm going to take this string, I'm going to string it through like so, okay? You see I string it all the way flush, okay? Let you see it in the camera here. Move over this way. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 fingers and I'm going to actually push and pull down. And I just eyeball it. It's actually more like 3 fingers or 2.5. And you see that? I push and pull and I just eyeball it. And I have to give some slack for what I'm about to do, because I'm about to put this, curl this on the peg. So I'm going to crimp it here and then I crimp it here. So I crimp it front and back, and I'm going to take this peg and I'm going to turn it, and I have to turn it. You got to make sure you wrap the string coming outside in and top to bottom. It's easier said than done. This takes a long time for people to get used to. Looks like I only have less than 4 minutes left of this video. Alright, so notice I'm pushing with my first finger down the peg. And I'm tightening up. Now, to save time, I got less than 4 minutes left. So, I'm going to use a power drill. Okay? I was going to do it all by hand. But this is actually the truth. I play guitar for a living, and the actual truth of the way I change strings is with a power drill. I don't recommend you do that, but like I said, I'm running out of time. I'm using a power drill, and the drill bit, I put a string changer drill bit. I went and found one. You could just try to find one. I'm sorry, I don't know where. Maybe the music store will tell you what to do. You just crimp it there. This is just a Black & Decker. I've gotten flack before online for using a power drill. They say, you know, you're going to break your tuners in a couple of years. And like I said, I play full time. And if tuners cost about $60 to replace, and I don't mind just every couple of years replacing them. Matter of fact, I replace them all the time on my guitars, here and there. And that's normal wear and tear. Again, I gotta bend it and make sure it goes top to bottom. Top to bottom. Sometimes you wish you had like 4 hands when you go to change strings. Slide the 3rd string in. I'm gonna crimp it, give it some slack to put on, hold it with my thumb. Sorry I can't go slower, I'm running out of time. I got a gig tomorrow, and I change my strings usually right before I hit stage, and I got to stretch them out so that they stay in tune. And there's a way to do that. Matter of fact, I'm going to end this video here, and I'm going to make another video about how to stretch your strings out so you stay in tune. So watch for that video, and I'll be right back in the next video. Bye for now.